Go ahead and then anyone who joins a little later, we'll have the replay sent after the call so everyone can kind of see what we went over today. But welcome everyone to call number 5 of the New Year's Challenge. I can't believe it. We are in the last week of January, which to me, this month has felt the fastest month and the slowest month. But I'm really proud of y'all. Week 5 means you've completed 4 weeks of workouts, meal planning, intentionality in your New Year's goals and beyond New Year's, right? Like we're getting to the point now where I was actually talking to a client today about, I was like, spring break is kind of our next mile marker. As we want to get lean and tone and lose weight before summer, this is the time to start. So, you being here and just starting this process now, you have no idea the impact it's going to make in 3 months. When you have a routine, you have a system, like you have the tangible evidence of what you're doing is working, you just get to keep doing it. And then by the time you get to summer, it's like you don't have to have that 8 week window of, okay, let's really quickly do it. You've been having months of building this lifestyle. And that's why I did this, right? Is so you have a whole 5 months worth of formula to get you to where you want to be. And as we start week 5, this is a great time to do kind of like an awareness check of where you are. We talked a lot about that the last call of just being aware of the wins since you started this challenge, areas you want to continue to improve on. Maybe you've seen some success and you're like, man, I really want to take it to the next level. This is when you can really start saying, well, here's what's been working, right? I've been hitting my workouts. This time works for me. Let's keep morning workouts in our regimen. This meal seemed to really keep me full and it keeps me filled. And on this week, maybe I lost 2 pounds versus just one. So I'm going to repeat that week. And then habit wise, it's just checking in. How often am I getting my habit in? Is it a priority? Is it becoming easier? Am I ready to add some more in? Because we are going to talk about one of my favorite ways to build habits is habit stacking. It's the method I've used for years. It's something I think about every week of adding new healthy habits in. It's how I do it. So today we're just going to kind of go through again, go through this next phase where you've got the habit down. You've been tracking, you've been following the workout plans, you have the formula. Now we get to turn it up a notch and we get to push you and say, okay, well, now we're in the second phase where we get to really start getting specific on what you need to do the next 2 weeks to end this 6 weeks feeling your best and have a confidence in what you're doing. Okay. Wrong screen. So today, again, just checking in, we're going to go over the method of habit stacking, how you can start incorporating that into your life now with the habit that we set in the very beginning. This week, I'm going to encourage you to create a new habit so we can add to that. That's going to make it very easy to obtain. We're going to talk about daily routines, right? Because that is the big part of this is the lifestyle. So just talking about morning routines, night routines, what's going to feel good for you, but what's going to be the thing that you do every single day moving forward to continue to work towards your goals? And then just creating that awareness checks as you go throughout your journey. It is very important just to be monitoring your thoughts and continuously being aware of like where you are and also being really proud of yourself. One of the biggest things I do with my clients, the scale is one thing, but the wins outside of the scale truly are what impacts you the most. So recognizing when you're doing something habitually, being proud of yourself, recognizing that as a huge win. Going to the gym and pushing yourself versus maybe before you weren't pushing yourself, that's a huge win. Being conscious enough to like want to eat healthier food, that's the one. Drinking more water, reading books, like the the biggest part and my biggest goal with my coaching is to not just focus on the weight loss portion of a fitness journey, but focus on like the wins of mental wins that you get along the journey because that's what you want to gravitate towards. You want to be aware of like, man, I'm doing all these great things because that's what motivates you, right? If you were just going to look at the scale as an indicator of success and we weren't seeing progress in one specific week, that's when we kind of give up. That's when we're like, well, this isn't working for me. I'm just going to give up and start again in a couple months when life isn't so crazy. So we've got to be willing to expand beyond that and really tend to our garden, which I'm going to talk about the garden in here. We're going to talk about the best ways to plant good affirmations to keep you successful beyond these 6 weeks. So, habit stacking, right? I know everyone here probably has heard habit stacking. Atomic Habits is a best-selling book for a reason. That book is I kind of knew about habit stacking, but I think that book really drilled in like what the root of that means and how to apply it. And if you haven't read Atomic Habits, that is a top 10 book for me. I absolutely always recommend it. It's great for the topic of habits. But again, I want to go back to our point we made earlier that throughout the process, one of your goals was to achieve a habit and do it every day. So for some of you, it was reading. For some of you, it was indoctoring a routine, morning or night. For some of you, it was making sure that you're eating at certain times, you're drinking more water. Like there is a range of habits, which is why I always made it sure that it was individualized for you. But now, since you're 4 weeks done, you've accomplished 4 weeks, that's a huge one in itself. We're going to try to add another one in, and we're going to make sure we habit stack it with an already existing habit. So, the textbook definition of a habit stacking is a behavior change strategy where you link a new desired habit to an existing established routine by using the old habit as a cue for the new one. So, morning times, right? It's like the best place to start with the habit stacking. For me, I started listening to like affirmations and Louis Hayes affirmations. If you know who that is, she's a great motivational speaker, really puts that positivity in. And I'm a firm believer that your mornings are a great intention setter for how you want your day to go. And I'm going to kind of talk about my morning routine so you'll have an idea of like, what do I do every day? How do I stay routine? And again, our lifestyles potentially are completely different. You know, some people, I don't have children, I don't have a spouse. I am just living my life, but I want you to know that the whole point of this conversation is to create habits that work for you, that make you feel good, and routines that feel good. And the easiest way to habit stack is just to add a habit in with something you're already doing. For me, I really work on my language I speak to myself. I like to monitor my thoughts, make sure that I'm really trying to maintain very positive and work on myself the best that I can. Look, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. It's unrealistic to think I can control all of them. But, you know, with high ambitious goals and high expectations I have for myself, it's important that I have high frequencies, high affirmations every day to keep me in a very motivated place versus doom scroll in the morning, get very distracted, compare myself, and kind of live in that world. I just want to live in my happy bubble. So for me, the easiest habit stacking that I ever did was start to listen to affirmations when I brush my teeth because I'm going to brush my teeth. That's like non-negotiable. We all do it. It's subconscious. So when you have a routine or a habit that's like, I'm going to do this, whether I like it or not, you get to add a new healthy habit in there. And some other examples are, and I think about like listening to things as I'm doing things, but like walking. Um, when I'm on my daily walks, it's one of my favorite times to like listen to new podcasts, like open myself up to new music, affirmations, look at my mail. Maybe that's the time I'm checking my email or I'm checking in with my friends. And you see how I'm doing both, right? I'm getting my cardio in, I'm doing my daily movement, I'm walking Miko, and I'm also doing something that's good for my mind, good for, you know, a task I have at hand. Of course, walking in silence is like a great thing to do too, but that's just an example. Another example is like when you're making your morning coffee, making sure that you have a high protein breakfast with it. Make sure you're coinciding that with some eggs. Make sure when you're in that habitual loop of like Keurig, cup, water, you're like, oh, where's my breakfast at? You know, something that you want to be doing anyways. So, habit stacking, this is the point where I want y'all to just take a second and ask yourself the question, you know, what's my existing habit that I want to do? Maybe it's reading. What can I also add in that's going to help me continue in the positive journey that I'm on right now, right? Maybe your goal was to read every day at night. Maybe the second goal is to journal every day if you're in a very personal development based focused place right now, because we're all going to be in different places and phases of life. Some of us are focusing more on our nutrition. Some of us are focused more on our fitness and weight loss. Some of us are focused more on the idea of creating a new lifestyle. So it's okay to like have completely different habits from different places you want to build. But again, habits are the driver in how you create a new lifestyle and a change in your life. And I'm actually on a very deep dive in my personal development. I'm reading a lot of deep books. I'm actually reading the book Breaking the Habit of Being You by Joe Dispenza. And it has really shown the truth and the physiology and the science behind if you want a new outcome, dream body, let's say, you got to start doing different things. You can't do the same things you've been doing. You can't think the same way you've been thinking and expect a new outcome. That's why it's called breaking the habit of being you, not breaking the bad parts. It's more like changing the way you're doing things because you want a new outcome. That's what goals are all about. That's why we set these high ambitious goals and we want to achieve them, but we have to do things different. We have to push ourselves. We have to go find information, find coaches, find leadership, find tools to achieve this new way of being. That's what this 6 weeks is for. These are new things that you're probably doing. And if they're not new, they're structured differently. So with your habits, it's always thinking, who do I want to be in 3 months? Who do I want to be next week? Who do I want to be tomorrow? What would they be doing every day? What habits would they have? If it's somebody who has the dream body, they're probably making it a priority to hit 10K steps a day, move their body, hit the gym 4 times a week, making sure they get their water in, making sure they're eating 20 to 30 grams of protein every single meal. So when you're thinking about this habit you're going to add in this week, I want you just to ask yourself the question, what would the next level version of me be doing that already has my goal, who has that dream body? How can we backtrack and create a habit that's going to get us there? That habit is what's going to be the physical proof of how you get there. And if you've been going on this journey, for the last 4 weeks and you're like, man, Tara, I'm feeling a lot better. My energy is better because I'm eating healthier food. It's like that's what we need to focus on because that's what your next level self is doing. So just take a moment and if you're journaling, if you take notes during these calls, I would just jot down, what your current habit is that you're doing and a second habit you want to add in and start thinking and troubleshooting where can I habit stack this in? How can I add this to an existing non sub and the habit you add it to, it doesn't even have to be health related, right? Like maybe when you drive your car, you listen to a podcast versus listen to the radio. Like who knows? It doesn't have to just be like healthy habit, healthy habit. It's more just creating a new habit with something you're already going to do. Like you're going to drive to work, you're going to brush your teeth, you're going to eat, you're going to drink water. Like duh, we're gonna do those things. We have to do them. Let's add a healthy habit in there to help us and just make it easy. Okay. So let's kind of switch gears and talk about the mindset piece of this, right? Because I think a lot of the times when y'all are going throughout your week, like you're very focused on the workouts, they're in EverFit. They're planned out. All you got to do is execute them and watch yourself just hit those mile markers of wins. You're lifting a certain amount of weight. You are pushing yourself in different capacities. Same thing with the nutrition. I've given y'all some guidance every single week. I kind of provide some more guidance and hey, here's how you make a lifestyle change with nutrition. But I think the one piece that is the most important is the mindset piece. Because if you're not changing your mind as you're changing your habits, nothing's going to stick. You are going to, when we're done with this challenge, the weekly calls are over. You're not expecting me to bother you at 5 p.m. on Sunday with all this great information. You're all fired up after it. You're going to be running straight up off of subconscious belief systems. So you got to make sure that your mindset is curated to handle the success that you're wanting. And I love to use this analogy. I learned it a couple of years ago, but really have been being conscious of it. But treating our mind like a garden, okay? We must be thinking about the things we involve in our head as positive, happy seeds that bloom into flowers. And this has to do with positive thinking. This has to do with how you view yourself. Oftentimes, we can subconsciously build our garden with negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, things that we put ourselves down for. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't think we're gonna get what we want. We're not good enough. Nothing is working in our life. We're constantly unhappy. And those little negative seeds create weeds. And we have to figure out how to backtrack, weed eat everything, and then replant new seeds. And it's just we're all human, okay? We're all human. We all have negative thoughts. We all have things that put us down. There's a reason why we're still working on goals we've had potentially for years. It's just human nature, so you're not alone in that aspect. But a great way to start working on this is being conscious of your thoughts. And I love to use visualization when I think about changing untangible things, right? Like it's hard to visualize, well, how do I change my mind? Like I've been thinking this way for years. How am I supposed to change how I view myself in the mirror or in general and build my self-worth up? You got to just look at it like a garden. And the winter is a perfect example. Everything is like dead. So you can kind of clean the board. Everything is still, we are in our growing phase. I love to use winter as like, I feel like I'm like rooted in my tree. I'm soaking up all the nutrients and I'm just building myself up to pop out in the spring and summer as a whole new version of me, all bright-eyed and bushy. But our mind is our garden. So the more you can start thinking about what am I feeding my mind every day? And that's why I tell y'all I listen to affirmations. I listen to meditations in the morning because I want to be so deluded with my own way of being towards my goals that whatever anyone else says, it's not going to stop me, because that's what happens. We listen to what people tell us, we compare ourselves to other people, we ask, why are we not like them? Why do they get these things and we don't? And that's the thing about life. We can't control what anyone else is doing. We can only focus on us. So the more you can start building your healthy habits around your mind and positivity, the more likely you're going to be to continue to do it way after your motivation fails. Um, our wellness is the physical acts we do to develop healthier habits. So when you are working out, it's a form of self-love. Like you're doing things that are hard. You're doing things that normal people don't want to do. People don't want to work out every day. They just don't. And so that is a positive effect that you are doing for your body. And when you combine these habits and a new positive belief, you create a new mindset that's untouchable. When you're going to the gym, you can tell yourself, man, like, I'm really proud of myself. I'm doing something that's hard. I'm pushing myself beyond my capacity. And an old version of me never would have done this. So you see how you are putting the physical proof in the habit with a new positive way of thinking versus an old you may have said, oh my gosh, I'm just not where I want to be. I've been working out and I'm just not where I want to be and I'm getting discouraged and I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to give up. Like that, we've all thought that way, but that way doesn't lead you anywhere besides a revolving, self-sabotaging cycle that you've got to break. You've got to break it. So that's why I always tell y'all, your habits are your physical proof of the changes you're making, the confidence you're building, the lifestyle that you're changing. And we have to just start thinking about our mind as a garden and start planting intentional positive ways of being to change your life. And if that means flooding your mind with affirmations all day long, so be it. That's what it takes to change your mind. It's a heavy beast. It's a lifelong project in here. We have our whole lives to figure it out, but why not make it a step quicker and just start analyzing how do you talk to yourself subconsciously? What pops in your brain when you're not thinking and you get affected by something? It's like, oh shoot, why did I say that to myself, right? The more aware we can be, the more likely we are to change. And again, this is a lifelong project, but I hope that this analogy helps you just kind of understand, how important it is that your mind is being trained as hard as you're working out, because that's what's going to make sure this information sticks. So routines, right? I'm gonna give y'all, I think I've talked about it a little bit, but I want to give y'all an idea of my routines every day that make me feel good and they're meeting me where I'm at and they're helping me to reach my next level goals, in all areas, right? Not just my fitness, but my mindset, my finances, my everything. The habits I do every day, I think about what would be the next level version of me, what would she be doing? I just do those now so that I just become her. So it's just important to have a night routine, a morning routine that feels good for you. When you hear my routines, I think, again, I've already told them, but I just don't want you to think that you have to do that. You don't have to be perfect every day. The goal is just to have an intention. And why I think morning and night routines are non-negotiable is because you're going to have days where you don't want to do anything. You're going to have days where you want to give up. You're going to have days where you have a hard work day and life is not going your way, and every possible thing that is wrong is happening and it's wrong. And truly, the only thing you're going to be able to ground to is your habits, your non-negotiables, the things that positively at least get you through it versus sinking in those emotions and letting it crumble your entire life. We got to have things to ground ourselves with. So you start your morning just having a routine that supports your goals, makes you feel good without exhausting yourself. So I kind of explained my morning routine. I wake up And I do listen to a guided meditation just because it helps me curate and keep in my zone, keep in my bubble, and make sure I'm tending to the thoughts in my brain, starting very clear and intentional. I make my bed, I do my skincare, I listen to affirmations while I do my skincare. I get ready. I take Miko on a walk, so I get my steps in early in the day, make a quick snack, go to the gym. Pretty simple. Nothing too crazy there. It doesn't take me too long. I think we all have this misconception too, based off TikTok, that we should be starting our morning at 5 a.m., have a 3 hour elaborate routine. And for some that works. That's not me. I am a 30 to 45-minute morning routine person. I take enough time to get ready for the day, to make breakfast, to prepare snacks, to go on a walk. Just that's what feels good for me. And that's what starts my day in a grounding point. That's what I share this with y'all a lot. You can't see it because of the blur in the back, but I have a physical list, like your habits on Everfit. I have one that's physical, and every day I have a morning and night routine, and I get my highlighter and I check it off every day because it's that important to me. It's that important after all these years that every day I am doing things that I know are keeping me grounded. And the thing is, I'm more clear-minded because I don't have to think. I don't have to think, okay, it's a new day. What am I doing today? What do I do? What can I do? It's like, no, I already know what I'm doing. I just have to execute. So then it clears my mind of confusion. And it's exhausting, right? To think, where do I start? There's so many places. We are going to leave all that behind. That's why you're building habits now. But that's an example of a morning routine that I do. And then my night routine, pretty similar. After dinner, I do my skincare. I make magnesium. I drink magnesium every night. And then I also sometimes drink tea. I haven't been doing tea as much, but with the cold, I probably will have some tea tonight. And then I lay down. If I haven't journaled already, I journal. And then I read and I go to bed. My goal is to read before bed, not get on my phone. Because again, I'm just trying not to get too distracted. And I have fallen victim to being on my phone too much. TikTok, especially, it is addicting. I 100% am addicted, have been addicted to that. And I just realized that when I was going to bed and the last thing I was doing was scrolling in the dark, I just, I was waking up ready to be on my phone. And that's just not what I don't want to do that. I don't want to be constantly looking for distractions because I don't want to be with myself. It's hard, but it works for me. So when you hear that, I want you to think about your own routines and think what feels good that's going to make sure that it is aligning with the goals that I have for my fitness. If your goals are to lose weight, then it's just making sure you have a routine that supports you. Maybe at nighttime, it's setting out your clothes. It's making sure your breakfast and your lunches are prepped for the day, for the work day. It's making sure you have a water bottle that's full of water so you don't have to worry about it. You just go to the gym in the morning. Like that's a great routine. I did that for a while, but since I work from home, I have a little bit more flexibility in my schedule now. So I don't, I focus on the things that I really want to drill down. And I think that's the most fun part about creating routines is that you're allowed to change them. There may be a time where I decide to switch out my routine and do other things based on where I am in life. That is the beautiful thing about wellness is that there is no mile marker for when you should be doing everything. This is your journey. This is your life. We are just coming together and I'm here to teach all the habits and the tricks and the tools that have made me who I am today. And I have all that to owe to wellness in my lifestyle. Um, so when you're thinking about your routines, it's not about being perfect. I would lie to you if I said some mornings I don't wake up and I meditate. I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta go. But I would say like 90 to 95% of the time, pretty on cue because it's important to me. And I'm gonna give you all a great analogy too to how to think about how to keep these routines consistent. So non-negotiables, routines, they're kind of in the same realm. When I say non-negotiables, I mean things that I am planning to do every day, no matter the mood, no matter what's going on, I'm gonna do it. And one of my non-negotiables lately has been my daily walks. Now, I got a puppy a year ago. I was planning on getting one, but when I got him, I knew that he was gonna help me keep that goal attainable because he's a German Shepherd. He requires a ton of energy, and so thankfully he found a girl who loves to walk probably more than he likes to run. So my non-negotiable is hitting 10K steps a day, and it's been snowing, guys. Like I'm looking outside, it's not snowing anymore, but it is icy, it is cold, And I've still got my butt up and I said, it's non-negotiable. Put 3 sweaters on. Like, you got to get your walk in. You got to walk this dog. It's non-negotiable. And I look at it as an appointment. Okay, bear with me. When you start looking at your habits as like an appointment, when you go to the doctor and you do your annual check and they say, when do you want to come back in a year? You write it in your calendar. That's how you need to be looking at your habits, your non-negotiables, your routines, because what happens is you instantly feel the urge that you need to do it. It doesn't become a choice anymore. It becomes more of a responsibility. And it's not to guilt you if you're not able to do it one day. Like, it's again, we have to find the balance as a fine line, but it's to tell you that it's important what we're doing together here. It's important to focus on your health. Like, at the end of the day, the only thing we can control in our life is our health, our mental and our physical health. And if you are letting those slip and you're not happy with where you are, you got to start turning on the discipline switch and saying, hey, this is more than just something I need to do or want to do. This is a need to do. It's an appointment. And I even had some clients, this last year, I had one specifically where when we would have our weekly calls, I would tell her, hey, let's book your appointments right now. I would have her get her Google Calendar out and I would say, gym, 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 meal prep, this. And then we'd have like her night, like doing her affirmations. But that seriously was a method that I was like, you got to do it. And then I would have her send it to me because EverFit, we have habits on there too. But I wanted her to get a notification when she was about to go to the gym. Just like for these calls, I give y'all an hour. I'm like, hey, in 1 hour we're starting. Here's the link again. That's me being like, we have an appointment at 5. If you can't make it, I have some girls on here who are working, and I totally get that. So you're gonna get the replay. But again, the gym, meal prepping, daily movement, journaling, meditating, being aware are all daily non-negotiables that support who I want to be. And so for you, a lot of those are probably aligning as well. And you get to commit and go after your goals. You got to start training your mind to expect to do hard things. Like, I know it sucks sometimes, guys. Like, I'm your coach, but I'm also a human. Like, I understand that what I'm telling y'all to do is totally different than what you've heard before, or maybe it's totally outside your comfort zone. But our minds, they like to play safe. That's why when you do new things, it's like, wee woo, wait, this is too hard. I don't think I can do this anymore. Ah, Tara's making us do things out of our comfort zone. I get it, but that's how you become someone new, is when you expect to do hard things. A great mindset that I've indoctrined the last year is like not expecting things to be hard, but expecting myself to be able to achieve it, right? If it's something I've never done before, instead of being like, oh no, this is going to take me forever, I'm starting from square one. I'm like, this is a good challenge. It's going to teach me something, and I have the right attitude. No matter what, I'm going to be okay. It changes everything. You stop being hesitant to do hard things or do things that you see girls that are doing that. Maybe you're younger than you, maybe you're older than you, maybe that are already experienced in what you're trying to start in. Like, we all have different paths of lives and we're all in different stages of life. It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. What matters is that you are looking at your life and your fitness, nutrition mindset. It is just as important as your doctor's appointments, as your dinner with your spouse, as girls' night on Friday at 4 p.m. Yes, it is. It's very important. And you can do both because I do both, right? I had a girls' night Friday night and I did karaoke. It was so outside my comfort zone, but I had a great time and then just went back to normal Saturday, meal prepped for the storm and I walked and I went to the gym and I had a great day. And it's just like your example of like fitness. I also want y'all to know like this doesn't have to be like your total life. Y'all may look at me and be like, Tara eats, sleeps, and breathes this fitness stuff. No wonder she looks like that. Not at all, guys. I take rest days. I have balance. I travel a ton. That's a huge importance of my life. I go out and I have drinks with my friends. I go out and have pizza because I love pizza. I love food. I'm a foodie. I'm in Austin right now and it's like food galore. Like every day I'm like, oh my gosh, I want all this. But again, I have goals and I know what happens when I achieve those goals because I am the picture in my mind of success. When I look in the mirror and I look at how far I've come in the last couple of years, I'm like, man, this is what happens when you meal prep every week, Tara. This is what happens when you hit your steps every day. This is what happens when you hit your fitness plan. I am the walking proof of my own formula. So my goal is for you to be the walking proof of your formula, doing non-negotiables, having a routine, and start looking at it from a different lens. These are appointments, guys. Your workouts that I've set for y'all, they are appointments. So y'all got to start showing up, okay? I'm not your doctor, but I'm looking, I'm watching. That's why I give y'all woohoo, I give y'all praise because I see them. And so this could be another reframe of mind that really helped me last year when I was trying to get back in my fitness. Because I go through lulls too, like I don't want y'all to think that I've been on for the last 7 years. Like I have pictures from a couple of years ago that I'm about 20 pounds heavier, and like for me, that it doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, it is a lot compared to where I am now. And so I remind myself always ask the question, how did I get here? And then I go back to, well, been doing these habits every day. They do sure work, don't they? So that is what I have for y'all today. I really just wanted again to give y'all some really cool analogies that have changed my mindset. Like I said, I'm reading a ton of personal development books that are in the realm of changing your mind. And what I have learned the absolute most is that if you want to change how you view yourself, you got to change the language in which you speak to yourself. So you got to start, being nice to yourself. Give yourself grace. If you are going to the gym every day, like, and you'd miss one day, just remind yourself of how far you've come. Like, we've got to keep, I know negative reinforcement also works. Like, that's very military coded to be like, you're not good enough, you're not doing enough. It pushes some people. And for some people, they like the positive reinforcement. So when you get to know yourself, you know how to work around yourself. And you also know your own excuses, right? Like I've told you in the past, I know that if I don't meal prep on Saturdays and Sundays, and if I don't make time for the grocery store, I'm gonna eat out. I'm gonna order out because it's easier. Like that's what I've always struggled with in the past. So for me, my excuses, I completely get rid of them and I say, we're gonna meal prep because I know myself. And I know if I do not have a full fridge of beautifully prepared food that I love, mind you, I love what I eat and what I make, then I know my excuse is gonna be, well, I can order out. That's just how it is. So I want y'all to leave this call, number one, with your new habit that you're going to be habit stacking with a something you're doing in your lifestyle right now, journaling, reading, walking, getting your water in, making sure you're hitting your 20 to 30 grams of protein, you're getting a vegetable in. Please be eating vegetables, guys. They are crucial. But I want y'all to, one, get your new habit in. Number two, I want y'all to start really monitoring your thoughts and treating your mind like a garden. And you can use the season of life we're in right now. It's winter. Like everything is dead. We got a fresh start, right? It's a fresh year. It's a fresh start. You're 4 weeks into the year and you've already committed to this whole plan we have together. Why not start looking in here and just start monitoring those thoughts? And if you find yourself in a consistent self-sabotaging thought, ask yourself the evidence. Where did that come from? Why are you talking to yourself like that? And talk to yourself like you would talk to your best friend. I say that all the time. I'm like, why would I would never say that to my best friend. Why would I tell myself that? And then rewire it by changing it into something positive. If you say to yourself, you're not worthy of achieving something, it's time to stop that and say, no, here's why I am worthy. Because I am good enough and I'm smart enough and I have the motivation, I have the drive because I commit to things. By you committing to this plan, that's your first proof of evidence that you can do anything. Like joining a challenge is very difficult, and I want y'all to continue to give yourself praise every week that we've done this for 4 weeks. We got 2 weeks to go. Week 5 is starting. You've already conquered, what is this? Bad math. 65% for my math people out there. I don't know what the decimal is, but seriously, that's your proof to combat whatever thing you tell yourself. And then number 3, start thinking about the routines, the habits, the non-negotiables that you want to make sure you're installing in your life now so that in 2 weeks from now, when I set y'all loose in the world, you're doing them and you treat them like an appointment. You treat them like it's a dinner date with your spouse and your anniversary. You treat it like it's girls' night with your best friends. You start making it a high priority. Because again, the best thing I always tell y'all is if you're not prioritizing yourself, your self-love, your habits, you're pouring into yourself, not by doing 1,000 things a day, but just small intentional things, everything in your life is going to emanate that. the right people, your partners will start showing up for you differently because you have now raised the bar of what you expect from yourself. Why wouldn't everyone else do it too? And if they're not doing it, they're not the ones, okay? We got to leave them behind, okay? So it's just your reminder that this journey is you versus you. And I want y'all to leave with not comparing to what everyone else is doing and stay in your little bubble. It's a happy place to be in. You can obviously look at other people and talk to other people about your journey, but the more that you can learn yourself better and come home to yourself throughout this process, the more confidence you're going to gain. And it's going to be easy to attack your goals. Like I said, that's why we spend so much time on habit building. We spend so much time on mental awareness and mindset work, is because the easy part is doing the tasks. The hard part is changing how you view yourself. And it's a lifelong project, but we get the opportunity to change it every day. Okay. So I'm really proud of y'all. Like I said, I want y'all to lead this call feeling proud of yourself. Start thinking about your habit, start analyzing your week, and if it's helpful, write a to-do list like this. I don't know, I'm gonna maybe try to change my settings so y'all can get an idea. Is that still blurred? Oh, no, it is. Okay, so you see here, I have three like bullet points bolded in blue. And so for me, my top areas of my life that are important is my business, my content, and myself. So for me, like my self category, I literally have morning right there. It says morning and night. So I have my routines written out, and every day I check them. I circle somewhere. I'm like, hey, like we missed 2 days. We gotta circle this. I have grocery shopping, meal prepping, daily 10K steps. I had to find a gym this week, and I did. So I checked that guy off my list. My business goals. It's just this is what you do, and then you keep it on your desk or you go to work with it, and that's how you just make it tangible. And everybody's different, but I'm a very pin to mind person or checking things off a list, which is why EverFit, y'all have that habit. So just start thinking about it, start getting conscious of it. This next week, workouts are going to be primarily the same. If you feel like you're getting to a point where you're like, I can do more, push yourself harder. Do cardio before the workout. I have been really drilling in for my girls who are wanting to do weight loss. Get your cardio in first and push yourself 15 to 20 minutes if you are looking to really see some weight loss. 15 to 20 minutes, Stairmaster or treadmill. Promise you, you're gonna see weight fly off of you before your upper body day workout, your full body workout. Leg day, keep cardio separate. That's what we have, a cardio and core day on your Saturday. But seriously, guys, if you are at a position in your workouts right now where you're like, Tara, I can go harder, do more cardio. Okay. I promise y'all, it's gonna help you a lot. Focus in on your core. And also focus when your workouts engaging your core as you lift. I was telling a client just this morning that if I didn't even have I didn't do any abs the first time I like achieved abs from the gym because I just when I was lifting, I would engage my core, even if there's fat on top of it. If you're focused on in your nose, out your mouth, and really belly button to spine, pushing that and learning how to breathe and engage your core, you will get abs, guys. You can do it during shoulder press, during a leg, it does not matter. That's your core, and summer's coming. Okay, I'm getting y'all ready for spring break, getting y'all ready for summer. So workouts, we got the workout set, but if you're ready to if you're willing to push yourself, get some more cardio in. Meal plan wise, I gave y'all a kind of an example of a grocery list style for this week, so y'all have some more ideas, but just making sure again, the top three things: 20 to 30 grams of protein every meal, fruits and vegetables at your meal, at least 100 ounces of water a day. I drink one and a half of these. This is 64 ounces because I want to get my water in. And if you drink coffee, make sure you have an additional cup of water to counteract that. And then mindset work, guys. Let's start thinking about how we can tend our garden. Maybe it's journaling. I actually want to show you all this. I almost forgot. I have been journaling for about 5 years now. I was actually these are 4 years worth of data, but I was about to run out of my current journal and I was looking for my something, and look at all this. This is like 4 years of my brain dumped on a piece of paper. It saved me a lot of money in therapy and my poor friends. So, like guys, I'm telling y'all, if you can adopt another habit to get to know yourself, journaling. And it's not just a Dear Diary. I was actually talking to just a guy at a bar. It's so funny because I don't go out very often, but when I do, I feel like I have very like intellectual conversations. I want to talk about books. I want to talk about life. It's so funny. Like I'm not even drinking. I'm just like, so what do you do in your free time? Well, I journal a lot. And I was telling him, I was like, you should start journaling. Like it's so great for the mind and body and the soul. And I was like, it's not just like a dear diary. Like sometimes I just write out what I'm grateful for when I'm not feeling very grateful at all. When I'm actually feeling like life kind of sucks. I sit there and I say, you know what? Write out what you're grateful for. And I start naming everything, my family, my friends, my life, my dog, the fact that I have an apartment, running water. I get down to the root of it. And when I'm done journaling, my mood shifts. Like I feel so much better. I feel it's like I've noticed that I've learned how to catch myself in a bad place and I'm able to switch it around. And we do it through our tools. So, guys, if this does not encourage y'all to start journaling, this is a great habit to start this year. Seriously, I'm gonna make a whole video on this, but it's crazy work. Listen to affirmations and just remember again that we're at a point in the journey where we're closing up these 6 weeks. And so really ask yourself the question, where am I at now? Where do I want to be in 2 weeks? And how can I put the effort in this week to make that happen? It's just small changes every day. And it's doing things like this, it's joining these calls. I'm going to send the replay out. So if, I feel like this is a great call to replay and just kind of remember some of those notes and analogies that we use when you're visualizing this next week. But just start doing some more awareness checks. Ask yourself where you're at, where you want to be. Don't be mad at yourself if you're not where you want to be. Just say, hey, we got more room. We got endless time is an illusion. We got plenty of time to figure this out. The good news is you're here, you're present with me, you're present with yourself. You just spent 42 minutes listening to me yap about everything that I love. And so that's to you. I want you to leave this call. Again, just being really proud of yourself for showing up. A lot of people won't do these things on their Sunday. They'd rather binge watch a show, which you're totally allowed to do after this call, but at least you showed up. You got a plan. You're going to make a habit for the week, and you're going to look at your workouts this week as appointments that I am watching. Okay. So I know we got a little bit of time left. I don't know if anyone has any questions, you're free to throw them in the Q&A section. And as always, if you have questions that you'd like to discuss offline, separately with me, you're welcome to message me through the EverFit app. I'm on there. Like I said, I'm here to help y'all. I'm here to get y'all to the next point. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, I'm excited for this week. It's like I said in the beginning of the call, I know some of us joined a little later, but with the ice and snow, I at first was a little nervous to just be inside with my with myself and not get to like get out, but I've been getting out walking and it's a great time to just do things you need to do inside with the forced time inside. If you work tomorrow, you get to work from home or you don't have to go to work, then just use this time as a great opportunity to just get yourself in order. It's Sunday. It's why we do the calls on Sunday. So you have a great present check of what do you want to do this week? What do you want to meal prep this week? What do you want your workouts to look like? So just take that time and enjoy your night. Enjoy the rest of the snowstorm, however it ends up. I know, like I said, I'm in Austin and we're not supposed to see any more snow, but it is icy and I am not driving. I am not driving, and I hope y'all don't drive either. Just stay home, stay warm, and I'm really proud of y'all, and I hope y'all have a great start to the week. And I will talk to y'all next Sunday. Bye, everyone.